The tour company we've been travelling with on our tours around London have been picking us up from our hotel and dropping us where we catch the correct coach for the day. After about a 2-hour drive, we're at Leeds Castle. The castle's been around since the 13th century and it's on 500 acres or about 202 hectares. They have medieval festivals and all sorts of concerts here. Pavarotti and even Elton John have played here. Once you're inside, it's really a self-guided walk through the place. You just can't get over the detail in the construction that they did without having the modern tools of today. The castle was built over a couple of islands, so when it was time to defend it, the distance of water really would have helped to keep the baddies out for longer. We're entering the castle through the old wine cellar. The steps are very steep and windy. They must have lost a number of good men trying to run up and down these steps getting more wine. At the top of the stairs is what may have been the #1 party room. It's closest to the cellar, but now it displays a timeline of the castle's history. As you move through the walkways, there are lots of different displays of the time, like these weapons. Then you move into the Queen's bedroom, the Queen's bathroom. There are so many rooms in here, they must have had trouble trying to come up with names for all of the rooms, but this must have been some kind of formal room. Is that the dinner bell? And then you've got Henry VIII's banquet hall, with him looking on. Pretty modern looking table here. As I said, they had trouble picking room names, so now it's colours. This is a yellow room. So then this must be the green room. You're just constantly filing out of one room and into another one. Can you guess the name of this room? So forgetting for a minute that they're electric lights, life didn't look too bad for them back then. So overall, quite an interesting place. It's amazing how big it is on the inside. We're now on the south coast heading to Dover. That's the channel with France just on the other side. You can see it on a clear day. What I wanted to see in Dover was the white cliffs you heard about from the war. Once a pilot could see these, he knew he was home. We walked down onto the shingle beach where we get a good view of the white cliffs of Dover. This was like a beacon. There is a castle on top that also played a role in defending England. There's another interesting bit of info with this, but I'll come to that later. Dover is also well known for its ferry service to France. It's only about a 30-minute trip across the channel, and this is how all the trucks and cars get across. As we go past the cliffs, if you look up, at about halfway, you can see a balcony sticking out. This is where Winston Churchill used to stand to see what's going on. We're now in the streets of Canterbury, a quiet town a little north of Dover. With its little streets and squares, it gives a real small town feel to the place. And is clearly a tourist hotspot. Look who I found doing his shopping. But we've come here to see the Canterbury Cathedral. They say it was built in 597 AD and rebuilt in 1070 to 1077. This is unbelievable when you look inside. The amount of work done at these heights, all done without scaffolding and safety nets. It's the home of the Archbishop of Canterbury, and he's the head of the Church of England. This place is huge. It just goes on, and even if you're not a churchy, you can't help but get this mightier than thou feeling here. In our next episode, we're off to see Harry Potter at Warner Brothers Studio.